Fright Night Vault. Audio horror for nighttime listening.
Welcome, Fright Night Vault listeners. Tonight, we descend into the suffocating stillness of a woman's prison, not built of bars, but of fear. Her world was a single dusty apartment, curtains forever drawn, locks bolted in layers like armor. Outside, the world clawed at her mind, open streets, endless sky, the unbearable sprawl of freedom. She had a name, though the walls had nearly swallowed it, leaving her known only as the Cat Lady. She lived for her companions, 6 graceful creatures, her beloved guardians. Their paws padded softly through her narrow halls, tails curling like smoke in lamplight. To her, they were family. To her, they were reason enough to endure another day inside. But the nights were different. When the sun sank and the clock hands shivered toward midnight, the apartment seemed to warp. Shadows thickened like wet ink. A strange musk of iron and decay crept into the air. And as she listened in the dark, the purrs of her companions shifted, lower, guttural, vibrating with hunger. Each evening, she whispered their names like a prayer. Each evening, their eyes glowed too brightly, too knowingly. And each evening, she felt them watching, not as pets, but as predators, waiting for her to sleep. The first night it happened, she told herself it was a dream. The lamp on her bedside table flickered, and the scratching began, not the soft pawing of play, but the raking of claws along plaster. She bolted upright, clutching the quilt around her thin shoulders. In the corner, one of her darlings crouched, spine arched, eyes glowing like a furnace slit. The sound it made was not a meow. It was a wet, tearing shriek, like fabric splitting underwater. Her heart shuddered, but she whispered gently, coaxingly, "Shh, Mama's here." Her words trembled against the air, falling useless against the shadow. Then the others joined, from the hallway, from the kitchen, from beneath the bed. All 6 gathered. Their bodies twisted in the gloom, fur rippling as if something alive writhed beneath their skins. Their shapes began to stretch too tall, legs bending wrong, tails coiling into barbed whips. One leapt onto the dresser, its jaw split unnaturally wide, teeth glistening as though dipped in gore. Another pressed against the window, the glass rattling beneath its twitching claws, as if it longed to let something in. She curled against the headboard, clutching the rosary her mother left behind. Her lips brushed prayer, but her voice cracked. And then came the smell. Rot. Sweet, cloying rot. It poured off their fur in waves until the room was heavy with it. Their eyes burned brighter, molten orbs of hunger, and she realized, with a sickness that hollowed her chest, that they were no longer hers. When night came, her companions did not purr. They waited. The walls shivered with the sound of claws. Not 1 or 2, but dozens, scraping, circling, relentless. She pressed her palms to her ears, but still it came, a symphony of hunger. The first attack was sudden. From beneath the bed, 2 pale arms, no, paws no longer, shot out and dragged at the quilt. She shrieked and stumbled, bare feet slapping against the floorboards as the quilt vanished into shadow, shredded in moments by unseen teeth. Another of her beloveds, once her gentlest, slithered onto the dresser. Its spine cracked audibly as it arched, ribs pressing through fur like jagged spikes. Its mouth opened, and a torrent of shrieking mules spilled out. Not 1 voice, but 6 at once, all layered, all wrong. She ran down the hallway, her slippers slapping against wood. She dared not look behind, but the thunder of claws followed, skittering, pounding, shaking the very walls. The kitchen, the door. Her hands flew to the locks, 1, 2, 3, bolts clattering loose as her breath came in ragged sobs. But the last lock stuck, rusted, immovable. Behind her, the glow grew closer. 6 pairs of eyes, now orbs of molten hunger, painting her walls in sickly light. Their forms no longer resembled cats at all. limbs spindled and crooked, mouths yawning down to their throats, fur patchy with veins glowing like magma beneath the skin. One hissed, but the sound rolled like a human scream dragged backward. Her fingers bled on the lock. Her body shook. The air vibrated with their approach. And as they drew near, their teeth gnashing wetly in anticipation, she knew that there was no safety beyond the door. For even if she fled outside, the night itself belonged to them. They surged upon her, claws hooked deep into her arms, her calves dragging her back from the threshold. Her scream cut through the apartment, rising like a flare swallowed instantly by night. She thrashed, striking at their bodies, but they were no longer soft or mortal. Their flesh writhed like living rope, sinew splitting and reforming around her desperate blows. Their teeth found her wrist, bone splintering with a crunch that rattled the walls. Still, she fought. She dragged herself forward, her fingers grazing the doorknob, blood smearing the brass. For a fleeting second, she believed she might escape. But then she looked up and saw the truth. The night beyond the door was no salvation. Pressed against the window glass, lining the walls, crawling the ceiling, were hundreds more. Cats without form, jaws distended, eyes blazing with the same impossible fire, all watching, all waiting. The six that were hers dragged her inward, away from the door, deeper into the apartment's suffocating dark. The last thing her neighbors ever heard was the sound, the wet, tearing feast, broken by her voice, whispering names like a mother calling her children home. And when dawn came, the apartment was quiet. The cats lay curled in their favorite places, clean, groomed, innocent. Only the silence was heavier. Only the scent of iron lingered in the air. And somewhere in the corner, from within 6 pairs of glowing eyes, a hunger still stirred. Welcome to the vault, listener. The story is told, yet the night waits for you too. Keep your pets close and the lights closer. Subscribe to the vault and never walk alone again. See you in the next video, and one night, the story might be yours. If you have a horror story of your own, feel free to post it in the comment below. You never know, the next story could be yours.